know a bit about your journey?
I used to do the polishing of the...
Is you have worked on the chip for Apple iPod,
Yeah.
and then you...
I am trying to reverse that equation.
So what are the biggest challenges that you faced then, sir, and how do you see the transformation today?
Oh, Hyderabad, is it in Pakistan? I wanted to pick up a real problem in BHL.
What advice would you give the youth aspiring in these fields?
To say Aswattama Hataha, it's a lie. Our hostels are full of drugs. I had a cancer in my body. Thadastu Devatala antama Telugulo.
Hello, sir. It's an absolute pleasure having you with us today. So you truly are an icon and a stalwart. So can we know a bit about your journey?
Thank you, Vinila. Basically, I come from a rural background. I come from a small village called Batalapalli in Anantapur district in Andhra Pradesh state. I studied all my education in the districts only, in government schools, mostly Telugu medium schools. Because of the financial situation, because in Rayalaseema, without water, farming also, we don't get any money. And I am the eldest person in our family. So I had to also take care of my brother's education. So responsibility started...
At a very young age.
Yeah, so whatever I had to plan to do, I always think about how do I take care of my brothers, their education, their, all the well-being and all that. So that was there right from beginning days in my journey. That means I grew along with the responsibilities. Though God helped me in getting into IIT, and then later on I got all the awards, rewards, and big positions in the government and all that. But I primarily give that to my parents' blessings and God's blessings. I don't have any godfather where he pulled me up and all that.
True.
Only God only pulled me up everywhere. But what I believe that if you sincerely work on anything, there is some invisible force which always helps you. I've seen in my own life. Though I come from the poorest agriculture family, though I studied in all the government schools, Telugu medium schools, but the way I was getting breaks at every stage. My first job was with ISRO Satellite Center, Bangalore. I worked in the satellite telemetry for Bhaskara, Rohini, some of these satellites. So though I was just a MSc Physics with electronics background, though IITs were competing for that position, I was able to get that job. That was a gazetted officer job. So like that, at every situation, he helped me. I was not into IITs. I was not even an engineer. When I came to BHL R&D in Hyderabad, because of my brother's education, because they were here in Hyderabad, I was in Bangalore. So I thought that there's no point in maintaining two families. So I resigned from the government good post, gazetted officer post, and came to BHL R&D, joined as an electron microscope operator. In terms of the scale and all that, there is a gazetted officer, executive position. Here, non-executive, that too level 1. So level 1, level 2, level 3 and all that. Everybody said, why are you taking this decision? You are going down instead of going up in the ladder. No, I am going only for my brothers. I need to take care of them, and being eldest in the family, that's my primary responsibility. And there I was working on satellite telemetry and very high-end, the space technologies and all that. Whereas here, I was an operator for a microscope. I used to do the polishing of the metals. I used to keep it in the microscope and magnify this thing. Then I used to call the metallurgist to come and see the sample. So work-wise also, it's a very, low-end work. Whereas I was a design engineer for telemetry systems. So everybody said, are you a fool? Why did you take this suggestion? No, it's family comes first. All other things, God is there. With that intention, I came to Hyderabad, worked in BHL R&D. Then I realized that BHL being an engineering organization, there's a difference between engineering people and non-engineers, and they were not treating non-engineers properly. Then somehow I didn't like that. So I should also become engineer, that too from premier institution. That's when I started looking at how I can become engineer, being a MSc physics. This. So fortunately for me, there was an advertisement from IIT Madras that MSc physics people also eligible to join MTech solid state technology program at IIT Madras. I applied it, and there was a test, and I got through the test. I got the admission. Then I requested BHL R&D to sponsor me so that I get my salary. Without salary, I can't help my family members. So they sponsored me. Then I went to IIT Madras, did my MTech project. Because they sponsored, I took my MTech project, BHL R&D project, because those days BHL turbines, the thermal power stations, they used to supply the turbines. The turbines used to rotate at very, very high speeds. Because of the pollution content on the blades, they used to break and all that, and the big losses used to come for BHL. I took that as a problem because BHL helped me get into IIT. I thought, let me also help BHL. So I did not select any theoretical project. Normally, MTech, they will take some theoretical project and all that. I wanted to pick up a real problem in BHL, and I wanted to solve that problem. And I took that problem, and that problem using all my this thing with the colleagues' help, we were able to, whatever the problem BHL was facing in the thermal power station, through online silica monitoring system, using the first time I used Intel 8085 microprocessor and built all the systems so that before the pollution levels get into the blades, we used to remove all that this thing. So that was tested in Vijayawada thermal power station. I installed my product, whatever prototype, in Vijayawada thermal power station. A similar thing I installed at Ennur thermal power station near Chennai, and they all worked fine, and we were able to save lakhs of rupees those days because of the shutdown of the power station and all that. And that got the attention of NRDC, and NRDC gave me the Independence Day Innovation Award for that innovation. First time, in fact, my name came in the Hindu newspaper, and also those days this kind of TV channels were not there. Doordarshan was the only TV channel. They called me to Delhi, and I went there, and I gave my presentation, how I conceived this idea and how I built a solution. This MTech project that got that kind of attention, and BHL could use that IP, and they passed on to BHL Bhopal for manufacturing those equipment, and all the thermal power stations, my equipment was there, and BHL made a lot of money by selling those equipment along with the turbines and all that. So in this story, what I keep telling, if you sacrifice for your family, God will give. Suppose everybody said, why did you leave ISRO, went to lowest job and all that. See, look at the journey. Because I sacrificed for the sake of my family, God has given IIT degree, and He has given Innovation Award, Independence Day Innovation Award. He got all those things. Then plus, and Department of Electronics, Government of India, they were looking for people like me for a lateral entry to join the department. And I applied for that position, and I got the position. Then whatever position I lost because of the leaving ISRO and joining the BHL, I was on par with my colleagues at ISRO. So that means position also, I got the same position. Whatever I lost by coming out to from ISRO to BHL, I also got degree. IIT degree is not that easy.
Yes.
I got Innovation Award, Independence Day Innovation Award. I got all the visibility, fame and all. This so much thing happened in my journey. And that decision of joining from BHL to Government of India, I was in the policy making department at the Department of Electronics, where new computer policy came out of that, a new software policy came out of that. the so-called software technology park scheme was conceived during that time at the Department of Electronics. Today, in Hitech City, whatever I did from Software Technology Park as a director, founding director, all that happened because of the shift. Had I not gone to Department of Electronics during that time, probably I wouldn't have got. Today, everybody is talking about, oh, you are one responsible for initiating the idea of creating the high-tech city, triple IT, all these things. See, these opportunities I wouldn't have got, right? So God pushed me to relevant departments at the right time, and that's the reason why more than the IQ, more than your intelligence, you need to have drive. You need to have some passion. You need to have some purpose. Something, I mean, if you are thinking sincerely about meeting that objective with full sincerity, there's always blessings are there from your parents or from some unknown forces. And that's what I noticed. Though I was in my class, MSc class, I was the lowest in terms of the in intelligence and marks, everything. All my other classmates in MSc Physics at SK University, Anantapur, all of them were convent educated from very good colleges and all that they came. And I was not able to even talk in English because I came through the Telugu medium, that too from unknown this thing. But compared to my classmates who are already from prestigious schools, see how God, though I am the lowest in the class, how He pushed me to take the new positions in the government, and he through all the platforms for me. That's what I noticed. There's some invisible power which is pushing me every time. This thing. So that's my journey. So whatever I can attribute, I attribute to the Almighty's grace and the blessings from my parents.
So wonderfully spoken. It's truly a very touchy and inspirational journey for everyone, sir. And as you have told, and everybody knows, you were one of the key visionaries behind the IT ecosystem in Hyderabad and Cyberabad back then. So what are the biggest challenges that you faced then, sir, and how do you see the transformation today?
Yeah, Vanilla, this is a very important thing. Today, everybody is talking about India. See, before the liberalization, before IT industry got into the country, we were not getting that respect. Today, whichever country you go, I mean, all our IT employees are in the key positions in the CEO, CTO, CXO. For example, Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, and IBM CEO, they are all Indians. So, Indians really got that kind of international visibility through information technology. That's one. The second thing, during the recent Sindoor war, why India demonstrated that kind of attacks on Pakistan with precision, this thing, because technology played. ISRO gave all the technology to DRDO, the missile technologies. Missile is nothing but a rocket, right? ISRO used to launch all the satellites. Yes. So rocket technology, when Abdul Kalamji, our previous ex-president, he was the head of the Trivandrum ISRO, this thing. So where all the rocket designs were this thing, then from there he moved to DRDO. And because of that transition, he was able to take all the ISRO technology, how to build the rockets and all that, this thing. So we had that technology. And because of the IT information technology, we have a number of people who started working on very innovative technologies. Like, for example, in the Sindoor war, the way they use the artificial intelligence and precision, this thing, how the missile can land, this thing, all that, because the technology played an important role. The technology basis was information technology revolution, which happened during 1985. I still remember those days were the license Raj. In fact, many entrepreneurs like Naran Murthy Garu from Infosys and Azim Premji, all this FC Kohli from TCS, they used to come to Department of Electronics for want of getting the import licenses. Those days, because of the license Raj situation, they were asked to wait for months together, and by the time they used to get the import license, their equipment itself used to get outdated and all. They were not able to do any meaningful IT activities in India during that time. That's the reason why right from TCS or Infosys or Wipro, HCL, all these companies, though they had the capability to bring the jobs to India, because of the license Raj environment, they were not able to do it. And all of them started recruiting people from prestigious schools like IITs and all that. They used to take them and position them in some companies in America, Europe, and all that. We used to call that time the so-called body shopping. That means they shop the body, take the body from this thing, and put them in some companies, because not that they are not interested in creating a development center in India, but the ecosystem is not allowing. That was the situation during the license Raj. Thanks to Texas Instrument. In fact, I keep telling that a lot of credit should go to Texas Instrument. They literally forced government of India to really come out with a new scheme called Software Technology Park Scheme. See what happened. I think it was in the year 1985 or 86. Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister at the time. So Texas Instruments, they wanted to set up a development center in India. They had plans to do it in either Ireland or Israel. But first they came here because they said there are a lot of manpower. We already tested your IITians. They're really good. And we want to really set up a development center. But the current policies of getting the import license, all our equipment, it takes 8 months to 1 year sometimes. And plus, there is no internet connection. There is no internet connection in India that time, except for a few educational institutions. Otherwise, for common companies, there is no internet access. There is no high-speed links. They said we can't work without that high-speed data communication link. So we need exclusive data communication link from wherever we set up in India to our facility in this thing. So like that, they asked some 10. If you are able to do that, then we can set up a development center and create the jobs. I think our late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi saw the opportunity. Then he said, why don't we create an experiment? Because those days, getting all the approvals, it used to take a lot of time. And those departments were not willing to give away those whatever the approvals they had in their control. But under the guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, they came out with a kind of a pilot. Okay, let us do this pilot because it's a great opportunity for India, having a multinational company to come and set up a R&D development center in India. That gives an opportunity. Instead of those days, we used to call brain drain. All the brains from IITs and prestigious, because there are no jobs here.
Yes.
Right? So if there are no jobs, I mean, automatically they look for other countries. So most of my classmates in IIT Madras, they all went to US because there are no opportunities for them to work in India. So he saw that instead of brain drain, why don't we create opportunities for them to work in India? This is a good pilot. If it succeeds, probably we can extend that to other companies and all that. So with that intention, they created a vehicle, Software Technology Park Scheme, exclusively for Texas Instruments as a pilot. No separate organization was created. It's only on the paper. And during that time, in Department of Electronics, they sent a circular that we are setting up a pilot called Software Technology Park Scheme for Texas Instruments. Whoever is interested to work as a director, founding director for that, they can apply. All my colleagues, maybe they must have thought that they're in DOE in Delhi with all the power and this thing. They don't want to probably experiment with a pilot. That too, it's a pilot. Whether it works or not, nobody knows. So nobody applied. Only my application was the only application was there. Then because mine was the only application, they said, okay, you are selected. How I applied, not because I thought that this is going to revolutionize Indian technology landscape and Indian IT industry landscape. I applied because Bangalore is very close to my native place. I can every weekend I can go and visit my parents and take care of some of the activities in my native place. That was my only this thing, because Delhi is too far. I mean, every time I mean coming from Hyderabad to going in a second class this thing, the train. It used to be very tough for my family to manage. I thought, okay, family will be good. we are back to my native place. With that intention, I applied. So they made me the founding director for the Software Technology Park scheme. So then I went to Bangalore. I had a meeting with a lot of entrepreneurs in Bangalore. Look, we are creating this vehicle for Texas Instrument. The same STPA scheme, we can actually make it available for you, other companies also. You can actually create more jobs here instead of you doing only body shopping. Nobody believed. In fact, there are some statements recently. One person by name Amaran, he is also from IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad. He said, Jay, government people keep on telling these things, but it will never happen. We don't believe in what you are telling. But recently, he gave an interview. This thing, whatever I told to Mr. Chowdary, he outperformed. Whatever he said in that meeting, he did 10 times more than this thing. So, because I had that confidence, this scheme is going to create a lot of opportunities for Indian IT employees and more consumerism will happen, because more employment, this thing automatically they'll buy the things from the local market, either they buy a car, buy a flat, buy this thing. I thought it's going to be good for the Indian economic point of view also. We extended that scheme for the other STPA scheme. That's when we formed a entity, separate entity called Software Technology Parks of India, registered entity. But that took a lot of time initially, because initial pilot was for the Texas Instrument. That was only on the paper. Then afterwards, after realizing that this thing, yes, this is working. And Texas Instrument actually really took it to this thing. I mean, the way they expanded the operation, they saw the important. We used to give them the separate satellite link and all the licenses. I had an office in the Texas Instruments in Bangalore, Miller Road. I used to give all the import license, and even for exporting any software those days, it was a big Herculean task. They had to first submit all the paperwork and send it to RBI. RBI, they used to take their own sweet time. And it was not that easy for people to get, this software has been created in Bangalore and exported and all that. Because of that, many people were not attempting to do anything in India. Whereas government had given all the powers to me, I can, across the table, I used to give the import licenses, export valuation, all those things. So they were very happy, and they were able to recruit a lot of people for Texas Instruments in Bangalore. After seeing the success of TI in Bangalore, all other American companies, Hewlett Packard, Digital, Motorola, IBM, all these companies started moving into Bangalore. Because Bangalore already existing system is there, satellite station is there, they are getting all the import licenses, everything, no bureaucracy whatsoever. Then they all wanted to locate their development center around the Texas Instrument building, so that they can lay the optical fiber communication from the satellite station to their respective places. I gave all the licenses for them without any bureaucratic. I used to give the licenses within 48 hours. Suppose they apply today, within 48 hours, I used to give all the approvals for them. They were very happy. That's how the Bangalore became the Silicon Valley of India, because all the major MNC companies from Europe, from USA, they all set up their development centers. Afterwards, the local companies, either Infosys, TCS, Wipro, they also want to get into that space, because they saw that potential through the MNC companies. Only problem for them was those days the satellite link for 64 kbps half circuit, Texas Instrument used to pay more than 45 lakhs per annum. For 64 kbps, that to half circuit. That was too much for the local company. They said, sir, this is too costly, we cannot, it's not economically viable for us to take that link. Then we went to VSNL, which is Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited, to reduce the cost. They said, no, Jay, ours is a commercial, this thing, we have a board, and we can't reduce the tariff, and we will not be able to service your local IT industry by reducing the cost. Then my boss, Mr. N. Vittal, who was the secretary for Department of Electronics, he is no more He's the one really, in fact, I keep acknowledging his name every time I talk to media. Many people, I don't know how many people know about Nagarajan Vittal, an IAS officer of impeccable energy and this thing, I mean, very proactive IAS officer. Any problem, I used to call him directly and he used to send the GO to help the process. He said, I mean, what is that we have to do? Sir, we have to provide the telecommunication links to these companies, but at this cost, it's not possible. What is it? So, if you take a separate license for serving though we are not mandated to take the telecom license, so like internet service provider, that license, if you take it from government of India, then probably we'll import the satellite and we'll start giving the data links and all that this thing at a very lowest price. He saw that potential. He said yes. He went to the cabinet department, this thing, who got all the approvals, cabinet secretary, and we got the ISP license. With that license, we started importing the satellite station initially for Bangalore, and using a micro tower, we used to serve the entire 30-40 kilometers around Bangalore, and we were able to give the satellite links to Infosys, TCS, Wipro at a very, very nominal price. That became the real revolution. How, I mean, our Indian IT companies today, they are all multi-billion-dollar companies, employ lakhs of employees. They got benefited because of that one decision which government of India took, and giving the satellite links at a throwaway price for them, so that they can afford to bring the manpower to, instead of placing them in US, the so-called body shopping, they started moving them back to India and creating the opportunities for the local opportunities. See, once if the employee goes on H1 visa to America, what happens? He's spending money in America. He's actually benefiting American government, right? He's buying whatever cars or malls and all that, this thing. He's actually helping the American economy to the same employee, instead of not going to America, suppose if he's working in Bangalore in the same company in Wipro or TCS and all that, using that money, he can buy a car, he can buy electronic goods and all that, this thing, I mean, the sales tax and whatever service tax and all that, it adds to the Indian exchequer. So that became a very big advantage for India. Those days, I mean, the tax revenues were not that big. Whereas once, I mean, IT industry started employing not just few thousands. See, unlike other industries, Nila, for example, you take a pharma industry. The pharma industry, if they start a company, I mean, they say, for example, a big company must have recruited about 1,000 executives in there. Next year, they will not make it 2,000 people, because maybe 10% manpower depending on the scale and all that. Whereas IT industry is not like that. Every project, I mean, depending on the project, they have to employ that many people. They started getting more and more projects. Every project requires 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people. That's why big companies started hiring lakhs of employees. So, take for example, one employee is working for one IT company. His family has got four people, the parents and wife and himself. So, whatever their needs. And another advantage when you compare to other industries, IT industry started paying very high salaries.
Yes.
See, if you take that time pharma industry or any other industry, their salaries were very low. And I mean, those employees were not able to buy, because the take-home money was very less. How can they afford to buy a car and all that? No way. Whereas here, IT industry employees, they used to get almost like US used to be a very high salary. Compared to US salaries, though it is 1/10 of those salaries, but that itself used to be very high. So because of that, the whole economic activity in India started going up. One employee employed in the IT industry those days, 4 more employees in the peripheral. For example, one IT company is there. You need a catering company, you need a transportation company. That means the drivers have to this thing. You need security people, and the most of the IT industry in India or even this thing, operating cost, 70% of the operating cost is employee costs. Employee salary, employee transportation, employee the food and other entertainment related, all that this expenditure is, suppose they had to spend 10 lakhs per month. Out of that, 70% is employee related costs. So all the employee related costs again goes back into the consumerism and all that. So consumerism started increasing in India, and that really triggered the Indian economy. Today we're talking about trillions of dollars economy. IT industry, IT services industry played a major role. See, whatever we started in Bangalore, today we're talking about hundreds of the billions of dollars, all export revenue. And more than that, I mean, tax revenue in India started increasing because all these people are very highly paid employees. That's a whole economic activity and the technology, this thing, whatever technology, we were not having all the technologies initially. When all the MNC companies are coming, Motorola is coming here, NVIDIA is coming here, Microsoft is coming here. So they used to work in those companies, in those cutting edge technologies. That means we got the technology advantage because of the R&D, whatever they are investing in India. And plus we got the economic activity because high pay this thing. And no unemployment. When IT industry during the Y2K period, I have seen some cases, this thing, somebody from Anantapur, she came, one lady, Vani, she had a small son and she lost her husband and she was looking for a job. And when I asked what is your qualification, not even BA third class, then I had to help her. Then what I did during the peak Y2K period, I sent her to R&D's at Trivandrum, where our Department of Electronics organization, they used to run IBM mainframe training program. She got trained on the IBM mainframe. When she came back, then I told one of our IT companies, why didn't you take her? She needs badly a job. She got a job in the during the Y2K period because IBM mainframe she got trained. And within 6 months, she got H1 visa. She went to America. She worked in Wall Street. Now she took care of her entire family because of one person got into the IT industry. That's what happened in India. One person getting into this thing, they used to go to America, they used to earn dollar revenue and all that money is to come back. And the whole activity, this thing, I mean, you take any, for example, my mother's place, very small village, that also in Anantapur near Gutti. The village name is Oblapuram. There also same problem. They don't have water resources and all that. They were living in almost hutments, no proper infrastructure. After the COVID, when I visited that village, I saw everywhere the buildings were there, Pakka RCC buildings. I asked them, how come sudden change in your village? No, sir, during the COVID, all our kids who are working in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai and all that, they came back, they started working because internet was there.
Yeah.
Then they saw our, this thing, we are not even having a proper bathrooms and all that. They applied loans and they constructed this thing. And today we are living in these proper houses because of our kids. So that kind of impact, how rural India got benefited because of the IT industry, every person who got some degree, they used to get a job in IT industry and they used to take care of their families in villages. They used to send money to them, whether they're getting proper money from the agriculture or not. They used to send that money. They also constructed houses for them. The whole overall ecosystem in the country, whether in the cities or the rural areas, because the IT industry gave opportunities to everybody. Whether you are a mechanical engineer, civil engineer, metallurgical engineer, and aeronautical engineer, they all got converted into IT and they got jobs and they did very well. And today India is enjoying the fruits of that one industry which transformed the whole economic activity in the country.
So this is like absolutely mind blowing because we all know how IT industry works, but the efforts and the dedication that you have put, I think the one decision that you have taken to apply is like a textbook for all the IT industry now. And so one more thing of pride for us is you have worked on the chip for Apple iPod,
Yeah.
and then you founded Talent Sprint. So you have explored various zones, like you have explored hardware, software, and also edtech. So what are the key takeaways from all these sectors for the youth now, sir? And can you give us a brief about Talent Sprint?
Yeah, before Tal Sprint, I'll tell you my entrepreneurial journey. See, I was very happily working in Hyderabad that time. I moved from Bangalore to Hyderabad. When I came to Hyderabad in the year 1990, to Hyderabad to set up the Software Technology Park scheme, I identified a building called Maitri Vanam in Amirpet. First 8 months, they no takers. Nobody was coming to Hyderabad, and in fact, whenever I used to go to America and other places to market Hyderabad, come to Hyderabad and set up. Oh, Hyderabad, is it in Pakistan? So there is no visibility for Hyderabad in India. Then I used to draw India map and put a dot in this
Showing
thing. It's a 1 hour flight from Bangalore and Bombay, and they were not knowing anything about Hyderabad. And during that time, all the Hyderabad, no IIT, no international flights, nothing used to be there. Not even one worth looking building for any commercial buildings for the IT industry. During that time, it was very difficult to promote Hyderabad as IT destination. And again, the same problem. There is no internet here. When there is no internet, it was so difficult for me to convince our government to set up the satellite station. They said, no, it is not economically feasible for Hyderabad to have a satellite station because there are no takers. When there is no takers, what is the point in having a satellite station? So without internet, how can I attract the companies to come to Hyderabad? It was very difficult for me, but thanks to the then state government, I used to work for the central government. That time, Nedurmali Janardhan Reddy was the chief minister of combined Andhra Pradesh. Though I did not meet him, but I met the industry secretary, Mr. Harinarayan. I explained to him, sir, there is a lot of potential. All our Telugu people are working in different cities. We can attract all of them to come here, and a lot of employment opportunity, economic activities also provided. We have the internet facility in Hyderabad. He sensed that importance. He said, what is it our state government has to do? Sir, if you can give me some interest-free loan for importing that satellite station and also land free of cost for me, for STPI, I can go and convince the central government to this thing. Then he took me to the chief secretary, one Mr. Natarajan. He was the chief secretary then. Then he explained to him, sir, looks like it's a very good opportunity for Hyderabad to attract this industry. He also agreed. Within a week's time, I got the GO issued. And with that GO, I went to my boss, again, N. Vittal. Sir, our chief minister, though I had not met the chief minister of then, Andhra Pradesh, but I lied to my boss this thing because this is see, in Mahabharata, Lord Krishna tells Dharmaraj to say Aswatthama Hataha. It's a lie. That means to kill Dronacharya. It says that your son is already died. Then he will leave all his weapons and all that. But who is going to tell that lie? Only Dharmaraj, because Dharmaraj is not supposed to tell lies. So for a noble project in that Kurukshetra is a Dharma Yuddha. In the Dharma Yuddha, if the Dharma has to win, so one can even tell a lie. I understood the logic of Lord Krishna, that Aswatthama Hataha Kunjaraha. Then I said, okay, though I have not met the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh that time, but I lied to my boss, sir, I met the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh and he is very keen to develop this. Oh, Chief Minister is very interested. Then that time Congress government was ruling in central also Congress government, state also Congress. Oh, if the Chief Minister is keen in developing the IT industry in Hyderabad, definitely we have to sanction the Earth Station. So that's how the Earth Station got sanctioned, and we started providing the internet facilities. That's how Hyderabad from nowhere, today it has become the international IT destination. One small decision,
Yes, sir.
which when we brought Hyderabad to this thing economic activity point of view. I mean the city point, all the rocks and boulders in Hyderabad got converted into this building, for example. Before that, it was all no water, no agriculture can be done here. It's all rocks and boulders got converted into. We transformed the rocks into diamonds today,
Diamonds,
creating this economic activity. So that is the kind of opportunity that software technology park played for the country.
I think, sir, like you mentioned about Mahabharata, you always believed in some unknown force. I think that prompted you to do something which paved way for the technological advancement in our country.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And
yeah. So coming back to that my entrepreneurial journey, see what happened during that time, many entrepreneurs used to come to meet me to take UOE licenses and import license and all that. And they were all in the IT services area. I used to tell them, hey, why can't you build a product? Because you're doing only services. Why can't we build a product like Microsoft or Google or Apple and all these things? We have people, we have potential. No, product is a very difficult. This thing, service is easy for us. So they were not getting into the creating the product companies. This thing, they were still continuing in the IT services. I also had that passion. One day, if God gives me an opportunity, I want to start my own startup. Is a product startup. That was their this thing. Maybe Thadastu Devatala Telugulo. I wanted to do that. Maybe he has granted that wish. So what happened one day when I was still in the government, before the Hitech city got inaugurated by the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Before that, his name, he is an IPS officer, J.V. Ramdu. He came to my office in Maitrivalam. He calls me, my first name Sheshu. Sheshu, what is your bank balance? Being a sincere government employee, where I never used to take any favors from anybody. I said my bank balance is negative because I used to help my brothers and I used to have 3 kids and to take care of it. It's not easy. And no birthday parties in my family. All my kids have to study in government schools because I can't afford. I said, that is the situation. Then he said, you have 2 daughters and a son. How can you get them good education? How do you get them married? Because in our community, getting a daughter married is a big thing. Where is the money for you? How do you? I said, okay, God is there. No, they don't do that. I think you have the potential. You should leave the government. I know being in the government, you're always, you will not have any money to take care of your family. You should resign and do work in the private sector. That was the trigger. And he literally forced me to type my resignation letter and send the email. But my bosses in Delhi said, Hitech City, which is your dream project, Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee has agreed to inaugurate that building. Why didn't you stay till the inauguration is done? Then I said, okay, I'll leave after the Hitech City gets inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister. So once the inauguration was done, then one of the MNC companies, Metamar Global, they came to know that I'm resigning from the government. They offered me to become managing director of Metamar Enterprise Solutions. During that time, some of my friends in Silicon Valley, one day they called me. We are starting a new startup. That too, it is a hardware chip design startup, but we have very limited fund. We have to have the development center in India. We can't afford to hire people in Silicon Valley with a small amount. We can't survive. If you come on board with us, then we'll be able to realize our plans. I had that intentions of starting a startup, product startup. That was my this thing. It's a great opportunity. Though I was getting a fat salary in Metamar Global and all that, I took 90% pay cut. And though they had limited amount, because I jumped at that opportunity, I am a very a risk taker.
Risk taker.
Whenever I don't even analyze this thing, what will happen and all that, this thing. I simply said, yes, I am joining your team. I resigned from Metamark Global and became a co-founder of that portal player. And because we were not having enough money, we took some residential house in Prashashan Nagar in Jubilee Hills. That's where we started developing this new chip, which went into Apple iPod. And fortunately, with God's grace, that company, we had this silicon chip. We also built the codecs and all that. And Steve Jobs liked our the chip and whatever the ecosystem. Then he announced that they are getting into Apple's iPod with portal player chipset and all that. And Apple became our 90% of our revenue used to come from Apple because of the Apple's iPod. And we took the company public in NASDAQ, and later on we sold the company to NVIDIA Graphics for $357 million. Then I became the country head for NVIDIA for some time. Afterwards, because that entrepreneur bug is there, I want to do one more this thing in the edutech area. That's when I started the Talent Sprint. That also, is a great story. We trained almost about 10 lakh students. All of them are in good positions on this thing. That company also recently we sold to ActionSure. So my both entrepreneurial journey as a startup, this thing, so become very, very successful. I'm very happy. And that's the one which I'm telling everybody. I saw the benefit of starting the startup and creating more opportunities and all that. So why don't you all? So my current journey, I'm mentoring a lot of startups and encouraging them to see that how they can become successful, how they can add value to the country by creating jobs, creating wealth and all that. My current journey is around that. I'm trying to create more job creators instead of this thing. So hopefully one day we'll have Apples or Googles or Microsoft kind of companies coming from India.
Sir, so can we know more about Unicorns? We know it as an initiative that you have taken to provide jobs to almost 1 lakh rural youth. So can you exemplify it, and what's your motto behind it?
Yeah, it's a very good question. In fact, today I'm very happy that I initiated this project. So Unicorn means Junior Unicorn. It's an aspirational level, but I thought, see why I thought about Unicorn. Let me give you some background. See, when I visited my village about 8 months back, there's an NGO called RDT. They used to conduct a no drug campaign. I asked them, how come in Anantapur district, as it is, it's a poor district. Anantapur, I used to define, Ananta means infinite. Infinitely poor people. We have no water, no jobs, no this thing. That used to be our condition. How come this kind of a poorer districts, how people can afford to even buy those drugs and all that this thing. So I was shocked. No, sir, somebody is pushing these drugs all over this thing. They are freely accessible. Many of them are becoming drug addicts. Then I went to one engineering college. They invited me as a chief guest in Andhra Pradesh. Very old, about 40 years old engineering college. The principal was telling, sir, our hostels are full of drugs. We went to the police and we caught some drug peddlers and all that. In spite of that, there's something is happening, sir. Somebody is trying to destabilize the rural youth and youth of the country. Because what is our USP? All our, from Prime Minister to the Chief Minister, everybody talks about our demographic dividend. India, youth population is more. See, what happened in Punjab? Punjab, they were all very high productive people. Today, because of the drug addiction, most of them are, they don't have the same enthusiasm, energy, because they're prepared to do anything. If somebody gives some money to buy those drugs, they become drug addicts. Suppose if the whole country becomes like that, and what will happen to India? That too, rural areas. See, rural area, another big problem, Manila, you keep telling idle man brain is a devil's workshop. When I started my agriculture project, I want to do organic farming in my village. And I never used to get the people to work in my farm, though I used to create worker quarters, all that this thing. Then I realized why they are not coming. There is no incentive for them to do the agricultural labor work because now everything they are getting free of cost through some government schemes and all that. So ration is free, everything is free. So there is no incentive for them to come and work in the. When I was a small kid, I mean, my parents used to get up early in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning, they used to go to the fields. Today, I was told that most of them, they get up at 11 a.m. and all that, this thing. And because internet is free, they also go to all wrong sites on the internet. Mind also they are polluting and they are taking all the drugs. So if that happens on a massive scale, if every youth becomes drug addicts in the country, then we can't do anything because our USP, demographic dividend, will become demographic disaster. How? I mean, they'll become liability for the nation instead of they becoming our strong this thing. So I thought, I mean, how do I change? If I go and give a bhashan in my village, nobody will listen. Maybe 1 or 2 people this thing, but all others, they're accustomed to the taking drugs and this thing. They will not listen. Then in meanwhile, Manila, about 3 years back, I had a cancer in my body. I got treated in Apollo, Chennai. While getting discharged from the Apollo Cancer Hospital in Chennai, doctor told me, Dr. Srinivas, J.A., he seems to be a very positive-minded person. Though our allopathy will work out 30-40%, but with your mind, if you're positive, I have seen in a number of cases, they were able to clear the cancer from their body. I applied that principle. Today, there is no cancer in my body. I know that, yes, this already worked. That means I asked the logic to the doctor. What is the logic? If your mind is positive, it creates positive cells, good cells. The good cells will eat away the bad cells, cancer cells. That is the logic, he said. The same logic I wanted to apply. The drug addiction is like a cancer, which is happening in the villages, and all the youth are getting attracted towards that and all that. Why can't I create a new addiction, positive addiction, good addiction, like a good cells eating away the bad cells? Then I thought if I can make them, because for everybody, financial stability is a good, this is they're earning money, if they're getting visible this thing. So probably if I create that addiction, then probably this bad, the drug addicts also will move into that thing. Then what is that I have to do? Why can't I create entrepreneurs among them and they become the change makers in the village? Then I thought about the junior unicorn. So then we ran a competition in 4 states, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Orissa. These 4 states as experimental. We ran this competition for 3.5 months. We selected really poor people. Most of them are orphan kids. I told them, there are a lot of local problems are there. You are local in that area. You identify what are the local problems, how you can innovatively solve the problem. We sent our team to train them, to ideate that this thing. All that my team, I really want to thank because they don't know about how to start a company and all. They don't have any clue because most of them are government school kids and orphans and all that. Our people did all that. They identified the real local problem, came out with a good solution, and selected about 35 students from these 4 states. Then I thought of bringing the investors to invest in them. That was my thought process. Somebody said we will have a conference in Hyderabad and bring them, and we'll have a startup kind of a event where they may get. Then I thought, see, for startups, Silicon Valley, USA is still number 1. Everybody looks towards, and USA is an aspirational thing. Every kid, this is not only kid, I mean, everybody wants to go to America and all that thing. I thought, why not I take them all the way to America instead of bringing them only to Hyderabad and all that. The moment I mentioned, a lot of kids, sir, can I also go to America? I don't have any passport, sir. There was a lot of enthusiasm, and they really started working more passionately because they know that if they get selected, they'll go all the way to
US,
America.
yeah.
So I saw the momentum in the positive direction because of the aspirational thing. Then all of them started working on the project and this thing, and but how to get the visas for them? I went and met the Jennifer, who is the Consul General. I explained to her the concept, what I'm this thing. She agreed that yes, this is much needed for the country. Thanks to her, we got visas to all those kids who participated in the first international Unicorn conference in Austin, Texas last month. 29th May was the conference. And all these kids, because they got the visas, we bought the tickets, and we took a bus, the Unicorn bus. We put a stickers, this thing. We took them around the Texas state. When we took them to this NASA, particularly when they were entering the space shuttle, I could see the energy in their face that they never saw in any aeroplane. They were in the space shuttle.
Yeah.
And I mean, that kind of, I also felt that I'm really doing something good. When these kids came on that 29th of May, and each student presented what problem they're solving, how they're, and there were a lot of enthusiasm from all the CEOs, CTOs who raised, yes, we're going to support. From $50,000 to $400,000 kind of a funding happened for these people. And everybody said, we're going to mentor them, we'll see how they're going to be successful. I never expected that kind of a response from those CXOs and investors who attend our the first ever International Unicorn Conference. And all these kids, I mean, they're so excited. Oh, somebody is respecting our idea, and somebody is willing to fund to take it to the next level and make it commercially. I'll give you one example, Vinila. 8th class or 9th class boy in one of the orphan schools called Hill Paradise near Gannavaram. His grandparents were masons in the construction industry. He thought that plastics are there everywhere and there's no solution. It's not biodegradable and all that. Going to create a problem for the environment. Why don't I take all the plastic, this thing, put it in a brick form, and a brick goes into the construction. It will get permanently buried. It will be put to use. With that idea, he put all the plastics and put the whatever the brick material, and created a brick, and got this brick tested in Siddhartha Engineering College in Vijayawada for the strength and weight and all that. This thing got the certificate, and we also took him to USA. When he showed that brick to the people there in the conference, and how he has developed that brick and all that, this thing. One entrepreneur from Bangalore who attended the, I can help him creating a small factory, brick factory. And also, since I'm in construction, I can use all these bricks in my new projects, this thing. That kind of a response I got for most of the kids. Everybody got the mentors and market connects, 3 M's. One is mentor, they got a mentor. They got money. Second M is money. Third M is the market connect. So this 3M concept really worked very well for all our kids who attended the first Unicorn. With that, Vanilla, now I'm thinking, that means the concept is working. If these people are going to be my positive ambassadors in the same village where the drug addicts are this thing, and definitely looking at them. Now, yesterday, we took them to Honorable Governor of Telangana State, and he spent more than 2 hours with them with the photos and all that. And they came in the news, electronic media and print media. And these things are being observed by the people who are getting into drugs. The parents also saying, hey, why not you also follow them? Because they're getting the international visibility. They're also meeting the governors and chief ministers and other people. So why don't you also, instead of not doing anything, why don't you follow that path? I think that's going to happen. That chain reaction is, though it was an experiment by me, looks like that chain reaction is happening. And this time, 100 people, 100 such students want to participate in our next conference, Unicorn Conference, which we are planning in the month of January next year, 11th and 12th in Dubai. So instead of only 30, 40 people, we want to take at least 100 people to participate in the conference. Next conference, again, we are planning in USA, in New Jersey. There also we will take some selected people. So a lot of states are approaching us. Gujarat state, and even yesterday, Honorable Governor said, I am from Tripura, so why don't you also include Tripura state also in your... So with my limited bandwidth, I don't know to what extent I am able to justify covering many states, but I am trying to do my best. My only request through this media, many people like me should come forward from their states and see how they can create opportunity for rural entrepreneurs in their own state, and we can definitely provide all the material, wherewithal, how they can do and all that. So I think we need to multiply this thing. I mean, alone myself, I mean, I don't think with a limited time, with limited budgets, we'll be able to do justice to other states, because every rural kid should get this opportunity. We should not deny opportunity just because I don't have time and I don't have enough money to make it happen. I only request all the entrepreneurs from the other parts of our country to think about creating unicorns from their own state, and we'll be more than happy to help them. With this, I mean, definitely, I am 100% sure that drug addiction will get eliminated totally from rural India. Our youth are going to become very strong, and they'll become rural entrepreneurs. They'll become rural job creators, create jobs within their own. There won't be difference between urban and rural. Rural also will be strengthened in terms of the employment creation, job creation, wealth creation, and in fact, there are more opportunities in the rural India for startups point of view compared to the urban India. I think this is a great platform, and I request all of them to utilize the Unicorn platform. We have taken the trademark for the Unicorn also. So I'll be more than happy to give away all the processes that we are following, so that every state in the country, to start with, wherever is a possibility for you to run this Unicorn program, we'll be more than happy to help you.
Sir, a very sincere salute, because you are so passionate about the youth in our country, and also to eradicate the illiteracy and drug problem. You are pouring your heart and soul. So we definitely know and wish that this will be a huge success, and also will be very helpful for the country as well. Sir, as a founder of the International Startup Foundation, so you are very well experienced and have a lot of expertise in how the startups work. So, sir, if we look at the statistics right now, we have many startup founders coming up, but they say that many of them are failing at a very rapid pace, and also that, you know, the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities need to be developed. So what's your take on it, sir?
Yeah, the startup journey, in fact, even in Silicon Valley, even now, though they've been helping the startups, the standard formula, what they say, suppose some VC invests in 10 startups, only 1 out of 10 will be successful. I asked them why the other 9 are this thing. They say that some startups, they will miss the focus, and some startups, they don't have the right strategy for scaling up. But whatever the reasons, mentorship. Many times we can't do the mentors for all the startups and all that. So we need the right mentor. I am trying to reverse that equation. Why only 1 out of 10 should be successful? Why can't we create 9 successful out of 10? I am working on that. It's not that easy, Vanilla, but there's a possibility. If only, I mean, all the mentors who are working in the industry and also the government senior officers, because India itself, obviously, there are a lot of businesses there. If only when government provides these opportunities for startups and start giving them opportunity to work in those areas, definitely that failure rate will come down, and definitely 9 out of 10 startups in India, particularly because we have 1.4 billion population. Out of that, I mean, all of them are digitally connected. A lot of opportunities in India, and particularly this is a era of AI era, and artificial intelligence. Without data, no startup company can survive. Data has to be there, data lakes has to be there, then only you can train the AI model. From that point of view, if you see, India is it's a gold mine. You take healthcare data, we have complex data of a different nature, agriculture data, we have government data. I think data point of view, with our population, we're all digitally connected. I think a lot of opportunity. There is a reason why many startups, even Americans, AI startups and European AI startups also want to come to India to take advantage of the data. So during this period, we government also, if they can come, for example, state government of Telangana, they already announced AI city. They're giving a special focus for the AI startups. Like that, every state, I mean, if they can create these opportunities for the startups, I think nobody can stop India, and we can create a lot of jobs, and many products will come out of India. And that is definitely is going to happen, particularly in current situation when the IT services industry is going down because of automation. Programming jobs are automated, testing jobs are automated. So if those jobs are going to be laid off, then we have to create new jobs. Through the startups, using the data, using AI technologies, definitely we can create more new jobs for our Indian population. If you don't attempt to do that new jobs by creating these startup companies, there will be big chaotic this thing. I mean, millions of people are coming out of the colleges. We need to provide some jobs for them. How do you create those jobs? Unless you create job creators. So we should all work together on how we can create job creators who can create the new employment opportunities for our young population who are going to come out of the institution. But I am very optimistic it is going to happen.
So creating the job creators is like a wonderful phase. So hope that happens. So finally, how do you see the next decade of India advancing in terms of IT and startups, and what advice would you give the youth aspiring in these fields?
Yeah, I see that India is very well positioned at this point of time, particularly after the recent war. Every country knows that India's technology point of view, defense point of view, space research point of view, we are way ahead of many countries.
Yes.
Plus, we are digitally connected. Nowhere in the world where there is Aadhaar system, where every citizen of India, they are all connected through Aadhaar. This kind of biometric authentic unique ID, other countries have not implemented. One is the growth potential which is happening. Consumerism, if you see in the last 10 years, not only in cities like Hyderabad, all the malls are full. Even if you go to even tier 3, tier 4 cities also, there are a lot of consumerism is happening. So I think this is a great opportunity for India to actually enable more startup ideas. See, every problem, identification of problem is very important. And we have a lot of problems in the rural area. Go and identify what are those problems, how you can take the problem and provide a solution, which is a scale-up model. If you are able to do that, even you can implement the same solution in countries like Africa and other countries and all that. So I believe that this is a golden era for India. Particularly, we established our supremacy in technology, supremacy in some of the areas, and governments are also helping the startups. And my only request to all the youth, this is your opportunity. You have to see that how you can make use of this opportunity, work 24/7, create these opportunities for others, and keep helping the other weaker students in your class or this thing, so that you will be able to help your own city or your own town, your own village people. If they are all getting employed meaningfully, there are a lot of jobs in India to be done. For our own this thing. And if you are able to create products for the world market, I think nobody can stop India to really become that kind of a superpower in the coming days. But only my request to all the youth, don't unnecessarily waste your time looking into the wrong side of internet and this thing. You should have a focus. This thing, I have to do something for my nation, for something for myself. So that if you have that passion, if you have that this thing, we're all there to mentor you, to see that your dreams are going to be realized. If everybody thinks like that, I think that definitely country is going to be in a different. Once upon a time, India used to have that Gupta Kalamlo Swarnayugam, the Swarnayuga during the Gupta's period, that can be recreated during this period. And I think we are coming back after invasion of Britishers and all the other countries. They have suppressed India. Now we are bouncing it back. We are going to create a new India, a new Bharat. This is a Swarna Yuga for a new Bharat. These opportunities are going to be available for the youth, but provided you all work with that kind of a passion. And definitely it's good for you, good for the country, good for the whole nation.
That's such an amazing advice, sir. I mean, I'm so charged up after listening to you. I'm sure our audience will be also. Thank you so much for being
Thank
with
you.
us
Thank
today.
you, Vanilla.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity.